My family background, well, okay. I grew up in Wakefield, Peacedale area, Kingston area of Rhode Island, and I had big family. I had, I had 7 sisters, but I'm all right, really. And I had 3 or 4 brothers. I had 2 other brothers that were in the Navy with me. I was on a submarine, and Jack was on a destroyer, and Silvio was on an aircraft carrier. And we were all in the Pacific at the same time. Yeah, and unfortunately, my oldest brother, who had been in the Navy for 17 years, and he was on the aircraft carrier Wasp, and a kamikaze hit it, and he was killed. So we did lose one brother during a war. But other than that, we made it home safely. Well, on December 7th, I was watching I didn't have a television, we were listening to the radio with my cousin, and we had talked about joining the Navy because my brother was in the Navy, and then all of a sudden they interrupted the program. Japan had bombed Pearl Harbor, and we said, well, that's it, we're going. So the next day we hustled up to Providence to join the Navy. There had about 100 guys there at the same time trying to join the Navy. So they said, they took our name and address, telephone number. They said, don't call us, we'll call you. So actually, it wasn't until May when I finally got joined the Navy. Well, I read the book of Jules Verne, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and I had visited with my church group. We had visited Groton, and I had been aboard one of the boats, and I thought, I really like this. Maybe someday if I ever join the Navy, I'll probably want to go on a submarine. Yep, that was it, and it did. I went to electrical school first at the Iowa State College, and that was a lot of fun. Here were all those Navy guys walking around the cornfields. So after that, I came back, and they sent me out to Treasure Island, California, to wait to be assigned. And I kept saying, I want to go on a submarine. And they said, well, you can't do that until you get assigned, and then you can ask for it. So eventually, they assigned me to a little converted yacht that went out around Catalina Island. And I told the officer, they said I could ask for submarine duty when I got assigned, so I'm asking for submarine duty. So we went out and circled around Catalina Island and so forth, and when we came back in, he said, you sure you want to go on a submarine? I said, yep. Take this up to the base, have a physical. And the next day, I was heading back to Groton, to submarine school. And I had submarine school, and then back across country, and out to Pearl Harbor. And then from Pearl Harbor, they sent us out to Midway. And while I was on Midway, the submarines come in to refuel, and we would go down and visit the submarines. And finally, I got assigned to the Spearfish, and I spent the rest of the time on the Spearfish. Oh yeah, we did. We were attacked. We got plenty of depth charges, but we survived. The Spearfish is famous for having gone into Corregidor when MacArthur was leaving to pick up some survivors to take them off the island, and 13 of them were nurses, and they were on the boat till they finished their patrol, and they brought them into Australia. And You've seen the movie Operation Petticoat? Well, that was a takeoff on that incident. And they had some of the officers from the Spearfish as consultants. So I have that movie at home, of course. Well, I think it's probably one of the best things that ever happened to me. I made some lifelong friends. And see, after the war ended, I went back home and I went back to school. I went back to high school. That's where I met my wife. And we went off to college and then we got married. But soon I would, one of the people from the Spearfish took it upon himself to start contacting the people that he remembered and asked us to give him addresses of people we knew. So he compiled a whole bunch of addresses of Spearfish people, and we started corresponding and getting back together again. And a few years later, after we were married, I was a school teacher, so this summer we were going to drive across country. And we were going to drive across country, and I said to Betty, good, we'll go see this guy and this guy here and this guy. She said, I don't know those people. I said, well, don't worry about it, you will. And so we did. We stopped and we saw him, had maybe a half a dozen guys across country. And after that, she said, there's no problem. They're just wonderful people, all these submariners. Oh, it's very important because for a long time, I never went to conventions and every once in a while I would wonder, what some of the guys are doing or what it's like. And then one day I got a call from one of my sub-vets and asked me if we didn't want to go to the convention. And I said, what do you mean convention? And so we started going to conventions. And what I found out was that it was not only the shipmates on my boat that were submariners, but it was all submariners. And no matter, even if I just met somebody for a day or two, it was like I'd known them all the time. Yeah, a real brotherhood. Yeah. Well, aside from actually going out there and fighting the enemy, I think I would like them to know that there is a group of people who are taking care of us in this country. They're a group of people who are actually sacrificing part of their life to serve in the Navy or Army, and by doing so, they're protecting us, and we owe them a great deal of thanks. No, only thing I would add is that I'm glad that somebody takes responsibility for holding these reunions and keeping us together, and we keep meeting new people, and they'll meet new people, and hopefully people who are in the service will get some satisfaction of knowing that people who have retired from the service still are thankful to them. And I don't know.